Here we go. All right, welcome back to It's Time Picks. We got UFC Vegas 70, Krylov versus Spann. Um, I think this card will be better than last week's. Last week's was kind of boring. I mean, we kind of knew it was going to be that way. We had 13 fights. First fight, Johnson and Armfield was just taken off, so we're down to 12. And I don't know. I think there could be a fair amount of finishes on this card. I'm excited for some of these fights. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, there's definitely some good spots on the card. There's, now I think there's like what 5 or 6 people still making their debut. So some new names that maybe you guys haven't seen, but it should be a good, exciting card, especially better than last week.
Definitely. So, like I said, Johnson and Armfield is no longer on the card, so we don't need to go into that one. Haley Cowan and Eileen Perez are now the first fight on the card. You want to take this one first?
So I know Haley Cowan, she's still somewhat young into the sport, but she's not one of them random girls that just decide to pick it up. She's actually a very talented gymnastics person. And for what I've seen in the fights, she's a long, rangy, somewhat kickboxing, but she pushed the forward pace. She has decent wrestling. Um, and Perez, she's, obviously she's more the grappler, but tries to throw more wild per se. I think she's slightly the more dangerous when it comes to power, but I kind of like Cohen here. She's the more well-rounded. If you look at both fighters, neither one really fought, the fair amount of competition per se, but I kind of just like this overall size of Cohen. Price tag at 8,600. If she can mix in some wrestling and some control time, she might be a decent play at 86. But I have a feeling that I do like some other plays around, even above that price tag. So if you get to her, I don't think it's too bad. But at the same time, I may try to fade the fight as a whole.
That's your pick.
Yep, Haley. Oh God, you're going Perez.
I'm going
You're
Perez.
going Miss Twerker.
I will read exactly what I said from my article.
Okay.
I said, let's see,
You're going Miss Twerky,
Cowan is fresh off of her split decision win on the Contender Series.
which I thought
Wasn't
she won.
wasn't that impressive of a fight though. She is well rounded,
Mm-hmm.
but she has not been tested in any way, shape, or form. Perez has fought in the UFC. Now it was a short notice debut against Egger. Egger ended up submitting her late in the second round, but until I see more of Cowan and she proves that she could fight on this level, I'm gonna go against her. Perez is gonna come out hotter. She's gonna have the forward pressure and she's gonna have better striking. I think this is gonna be one of those matches where we all look at it, we're like, wow, we're stupid. We even thought Cowan was a favorite.
I didn't think she should be this big of a favorite, but the only thing about Perez I don't like, so leading up to the Stephanie Egger fight, I understand there's confidence, but she wasn't confident. She was too cocky. She was already thinking about, oh, I'm gonna be champ. Right? Like not even a half hour after she lost to Egger, she goes over social media, oh, I'm still gonna be champ, which to an extent you can take that as confidence or cocky. She's like, I'm the one that's gonna be Amanda Nunez. I'm the one that I'm like, girl, I understand you just lost your debut, right? But I think, like I said, it should be a decent fight. I'm gonna try to stay away from it, but if you want to go to the approach of dog or pass, I'm not against it. But so we're split for the first fight, shockingly.
Right off that, I will make another note that Perez is a switch stance fighter
Mhm.
and Cowan is a southpaw. So I honestly think that if Perez decides to fight southpaw for the majority of the fight, it's really going to cause Cowan to struggle.
I just think like if I'm looking at bets, I think this fight either way, unless Perez gets a crazy submission, which is doable if she gets Cowan flat, maybe.
I think
But
she knocks her out.
oh shit, you're
I
going.
think she knocks her out.
I was leaning more the decision.
Here, I'll say this. She will if she will get tired after the first round, and so it's going to come down if she does not knock her out in the first round, she will her cardio will come into play. Whether or not she wins that second round will depend on that, but I do think that Cowan struggles against her. So, and she's a dog on DK. So, I mean, at 7,600, I'll take
That's
that
not a
all day.
bad play.
So, but like you said,
She'll be in my pool, but
yeah, like you said, we are split on that pick. You're going with Haley Cowan. I'm going with Eileen Perez. Next up, we have a really spectacular fight.
oh yeah.
We have Rafael Alves and Narulo Aliv. Now, Aliv has quite the background.
Mm-hmm.
He has not fought that many times, but man, he has that suffocating wrestling that you see from the Nurmagomedovs.
Oh
He
yeah.
fights very similar to Habib. He strikes similar. He wrestles similar. The only issue that I have with him is if you watch any of his fights, he will leave his hands down and he will just eat and eat and eat. He doesn't care. And most of the shots don't seem to phase him. But in the first round of this fight, you cannot do that with Alves.
Nope.
He has way too much power. He has fought far better competition. And Alves is, I have Ali winning. I have him to win, but I will have a share or two of Alves because he could end this fight in a hurry in the first round, and it could just be completely shattering the slate. So at 7,400 on DK, he's worth taking a shot. Same thing with Aliv at what is he,
88.
88. I mean, that's an excellent score because after that first round, you don't know you don't know which version of Alves you're going to get. So it could be takedown city, it could be control, it could be a submission. This fight is definitely one to target, but
Oh yeah.
I'm on the side of Aliv.
So I'm also on the side of the league. You know, before I watched anything on him, I heard the name, and then people were trying to say like mini Khabib, and I was like, okay, I gotta watch this guy. His chain wrestling is good as hell, and he's not one of those guys that I don't need to strike. You know, he'll throw his little basic punches just to close the distance. And once he gets a hold of you, it may not be the first, it may not be the second, by the third attempt, you're going to your back, you're going to the ground. He's super strong. Um, I think this is a hard test per se because Alves will be live round one and he's gonna be in his face. But I think once he gets out of round one, it's all a leave. Lee's gonna tire him out against the cage, work takedowns, work control. Maybe he can sneak in like a rear naked choke type finish, but I'm leaning more a lead by decision.
Mm-hmm.
But even with decision, he racks up, let's say 8,800. Maybe it's a little bit of ground and pound, get some strikes. Let's say he gets about between 4 to 5 takedowns. That's 50 points right there.
25.
Plus control. He might get close. I think he can score if he does with control and does some damage. I think he can get close to 100 at 88.
He should easily. He'll surpass it in a decision.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing some elite though. 88.
Absolutely. All right, so both of us going with Aliv. Next up, we have Joe Selecki and Carl Deaton. You can take this one first.
Deaton is taking this fight on short notice. So like he was supposed to fight on the last week's card, but got pushed back to this week. Deaton has some wrestling. He has some sloppy-ish type of striking, but he has good power for his size. Selecki, I would say, is the slightly better wrestler. He definitely is the better grappler. The only thing I don't like about Selecki, a couple things I don't like about Selecki. One, I'm not a big fan of that 9,400 for him. That low key, like, I don't care if they fight short notice or not. I'm not a big fan of that 94. And two, he tends not to score well. I think he's way overpriced to an extent, even with a guy having his debut. Even though I'm going Selecki to win, maybe get like a late second round, maybe third round sub. I think he's gonna need a lot to get done to even pay off 94. So I think this is a fight I'm gonna fade. Because there are some fighters around the range of Selecki I do like a lot more. Unless Selecki gets an early round one sub, I don't know how he pays off 94. Because like I said, I don't see him overall bull rush and taking Deaton down the first couple tries. Because I think the wrestling is honestly close, but I slightly do lean Selecki. But the grappling is on different levels and the level of competition. And the only thing is, like, you seen Selecki in his last fight against De Silva. Selecki was a big favorite. A split decision. And De Silva rocked him multiple times. I think Deaton actually hits a little harder than De Silva. But I think, it's a Selecki or pass, but I'm leaning more of the pass. I think if you're playing cash, I think you can play Selecki at 94. Because I think he is going to win. But if you want to look at his past scores, he really doesn't score the best. He makes fights closer than what they should be. But yeah, I'm going to go Selecki, but I'm passing on the fight.
I have Selecki as well. There's nothing impressive about Deaton's game. He hasn't fought on the same level. He hasn't really done anything. He is tough. And, he could give Selecki a few fits on the feet. But I think overall, Selecki controls the fight. And Selecki, the second this hits the mat, it's going to be Selecki's game. So whether he finishes him or not, it depends on how he wants to go about it. But, yeah, like I said, there's nothing special about Carl Deaton's game. Nothing against him, but I just don't see him winning this one unless he somehow lands flush, and that could be said for any fight. But so yeah, both of us going with Selecki. This next fight, the odds should be damn near pick 'em.
Yeah, I agree.
Ode Osborne and Charles Johnson. These guys have really similar fighting styles. Both of them are really good strikers. Both of them are good distance strikers. I would give Osborne probably the power.
About
Johnson has better, wrestling and grappling. Whether he goes to it or not will, be remain to be seen. But this could either be a really, really boring decision with a low score, or we could see somebody knocked out in the first round. But I do lean Charles Johnson ever so slightly.
So you pretty much stole my entire breakdown per se. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I think Johnson took this fight on short notice too.
I think so.
The only thing is, like, I want to see now they're actually giving Johnson a striker versus striker match, because most of the time in his career he was getting wrestler. Now this is more an ideal style. Like, okay, let's see what we got in Johnson. Ode just got put to sleep against Tyson Nam, but I think Tyson Nam is an underrated good striker, but he has more power than Johnson. Tyson Nam cocks his hand back and he uploads it. But as you said, like, I think this fight could go over 1.5. I think because Ode knows the fight he fought with who did he just before Nam, who did he get knocked out by? Oh, Mel Cop. He was winning the Cop fight, then he got knocked. He was winning the Nam fight until he got his stuff rocked, and then he got his stuff knocked out. If I'm Ode, I'm trying to use my range a little bit, get Johnson to extend, maybe use some kicks. As a bet, I'm probably going to try to see what the odds are for a 1.5 over. Hopefully I'll get some decent odds on that, but my pick is Johnson. And if it's going to be like a rangy, pick your shots type of fight, I'm going to fade it. But if you're, depending on how many lines you're playing, I'd say get to it because there's upside on both sides.
There's also a downside on both sides.
Yeah, either someone's going to score early within under 1.5, or this fight's going to go to a pure round, just kickboxing decision, and the winner scores like 70 points?
If that, yeah, because neither one of them throws a whole ton.
No.
And you could find them, the whole first round could be them trying to,
find range.
Yes. So for me, this is, I don't know, I'll probably just skip on this whole and just kind of.
I'll figure it out. This fight could be very similar, which I'm kind of bad. I got no play on it. I had him in my line earlier, but I had him just for placement. This fight could be very similar to, to Lynn's and OSP. I thought that fight was gonna be a boring 2 strikers just going and then OSP just shows why OSP. I hate to say it, why OSP just needs to hang him up. That's awful. But it could be something like that. One of them rocks somebody early. I don't know about the quick bonus unless Johnson catches Osborne, because Osborne's chin been iffy lately. But I'm thinking this fight actually just a pure pick their shot strikes, and there is a finish, maybe late. But
see, I don't. If there's a finish, I think it's Osborne. I don't think Johnson finishes it, because if you think about it, Johnson doesn't really have as much power.
No.
Johnson knocked out Jimmy Flake because Jimmy Flake wanted to try to take the fight down to the mat the whole time.
Yeah.
Osborne's not going to do that. Osborne is going to stand straight and he's going to, throw kicks and rangy strikes. So I don't think Johnson. God, I'm almost convincing myself to Osborne. Um, shit.
I'm going Johnson.
I have Johnson in my article, so I kind of have to, but I would not be surprised at all if Osborne wins this fight.
I wouldn't shock me since how Johnson's cocky with his striking. His hands go up and down. If Osborne catches him with an over, rocks him, either standing TKOs him or jumps on his back, it would not shock me. But I just have a feeling this fight is going to be how I thought the Lins and OSP fight was going to go. It's going to go farther into the fight, and I think it's going to be a low scoring fight.
I agree. All right, both of us going with Charles Johnson ever so slightly. And Jordan Levitt and Victor Martinez. This could be a really, really entertaining fight.
Boy, really good.
Just kind of depends on how Jordan Levitt shows up. So I'll let you take this one though.
So Martinez is making his debut. He was on the contender series. He's mainly just a striker. He has fast hands. He switches stances. There's good combination, good power. But one thing I've seen in his game that absolutely trash, and I mean this, trash. For one, I'm not consider this part trash. Takedown defense is decent, but he does get taken down. What is trash is he doesn't guard his back for shit. Every time I see him get down, he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna find my way to get down." Hands on the mat. What happens? Somebody jumps on his back and people attack his neck. And most of his losses are by sub. And there's Levitt. Levitt showed decent, awareness against Patty Pimblett, our boy Patty. Hey, how you doing? But one thing I'll say, Levitt overall takedowns looked impressive against Patty. He got Patty down. He showed a lot of good strength and improvement in the wrestling. One thing you cannot do, as I said about this fight, if Levitt gets him down and Martinez leaves his hands on the mat, Levitt is going to take that back quicker than shit. Levitt is not a person you want to roll with on the ground. He's an anaconda. He locks you up. And if he gets a hold of your body, he's snatching your neck. Or he's going for an arm bar. He's going to find something. He's gonna leave a limb, and he's going to go for some kind of submission of a sort. He's someone that you don't want to on the ground. But at any point, if Martinez keeps it on the feet, I think he could TKO the shit out of Levitt. Because his strike is not good. It's improving, but it's not good. So it's your ideal striker versus grappler. Who you think is better at what? I slightly lean Levitt. Because I think, he's going to work his head. He's going to get touched a little bit. But I think he's going to get close the distance. Even if he gets a cage, he's going to jump the back. He's going to find a way to get this guy, hold his down, take him down, or even control him against cage. I'm leaning Levitt. I think Levitt gets a submission.
I said in my article that one of them gets finished, making it a must-have in DFS contests, and I said
I agree.
Levitt has faced better competition. He should be able to get to this to the mat. And
he's only going to need one takedown, I think. I honestly feel one takedown is going to win it.
This fight likely ends in the first round, and it's going to be one of two ways. Martinez is going to come out. He's going to bull rush him like Lins did to OSP last week, and he's going to knock him out. Or Levitt is going to do what Levitt does, and either one of two things. He will just take him down in the middle of the ring and then grab his neck when he gets up, or he will clinch him against the cage, which is the most likely option because he's going to try to avoid being hit, and he will take him down and then take his back. So I think no matter what, Levitt gets a submission here, and I think he's only 82 under. He's actually
this is the 82. Yeah, this is the 82 8,000 fight. So
I
think in DFS terms, usually in DFS terms, they always say one part of this fight always tries to find their way into the octagon.
Yeah, they fucked that up. Levitt should.
I don't think
Levitt should probably be like 8,300, but whatever. If they want to make him 8,000 to make it easy,
I'm fine with that.
I'm good with it. So
Because here's the
both of
thing,
us go with Jordan Levitt.
this fight was the one of the fights that kept switching so freaking much when I first saw it.
I did.
Original, like the overall bet line, they had Martinez as a underdog for the most part. Then it flipped to him to being a favorite, back to underdog. Now he's a favorite. I'm betting odds. So I'm fine with Levitt being 8K. I'm cool with it.
Yep, I am as well. I think Levitt takes this fight of a submission.
Yep.
Absolutely. So both of us going with Jordan Levitt. Next up, we have Jasmine Jasudavicius and Gabriela Fernandez. I'll start this one off.
Yep.
So Jasudavicius, I'm just gonna say fucking Jasmine. Jasmine got exposed on the feet really bad, like really bad. She sucks at striking. And I mean, she got her shit kicked in by Natalia Silva, who is a grappler. Um, and now she's going against a better striker. If Jasmine can't get this to the mat, she's done for.
Yeah,
And I don't think she's going to be able to. Fernandez, I liked her striking. She's got really quick hands, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm really actually kind of excited to watch her fight. I mean, she's a beast. She's built. She's got excellent striking. She's got fast hands. And if you watch a few of her fights, if you watch her foot movement, man, she's quick.
Like Holly Holm.
So yeah, actually, that's a pretty good comparison.
Like Holly
Holm. So yeah, I'm not sure why so many people are on Jasmine. It doesn't really make much sense.
There's gonna be dogs you're looking at. I understand people are doing it. Her striking ain't the best. She mainly uses it for range and just throws piss poor jabs. But one thing I will say I didn't like about Fernandez, I've seen fights where she gets taken down, she chills on her back. That does scare me a little bit. If Jasmine Jasudavicius does get the takedowns, I think she's gonna work with control. But one thing I will give back to Fernandez, from what I've seen when she did get out of, when she's in dominant position on her back and she does find a way up, she mainly uses her strength muscles to fucking do it. No technique. Okay, I'm stronger than you. I can push you up, come back up. But if Jasmine can't get the takedown, I think she's screwed.
Oh, she is.
I think she gets pieced the hell up the entire fight.
Absolutely. And another reason to go with that is Jasmine has not faced many southpaws.
Nope.
Gabriella is a southpaw. Good luck.
I'll tell you right now, if she just absolutely steamrolls and just passes and stops the first couple takedowns, Jasmine's screwed. At some point, it may not be round one, because I know Fernandez tries to find her rhythm, and maybe somewhere in round two, at some sort, she might TKO Jasmine.
She absolutely could. And, even if she gets taken down, yeah, she is comfortable on the back. But if she reverses that at all, we could also see her submit her.
Yeah.
Her game is solid all around. So she should be a bigger favorite. This is one of those fights where it's just the odds are kind of laughable. And Fernandez is only 8,400 on DK, and I think she smashes that.
I'm torn on that fight. Because I do like other fighters around that range, but
I do too. I liked Armfield, but Armfield's not fighting anymore. So
I was seeing projected ownership. He was going to be lower owned, like low owned for the 8K range. But ideally, if Armfield pretty much uses wrestling, but there's times where he does, sometimes he don't. But
either way, so both of us on Fernandez, correct?
See.
All right, both of us going with Gabriela Fernandez. Next up, we got Eric Gonzalez and Trevor Peek. Go ahead.
I'm going to say this now. I don't think neither one is good. They're not. I'm sorry. Neither one is good.
Yeah, but one is definitely better than the other.
One, ideally is better than another, but this is someone, this is a fight I think in GPP you got to unfortunately target. Yeah, pick a side. Peak is more wild. He has more power.
Here, you want to know who I'm gonna liken Peak to somebody right now. You ready? He is a worse version of Jack Della Maddalena.
Oh, I was gonna say something else, but I was gonna say he's a worse version than a wild Diego Sanchez, where he just bites his mouthpiece down and just leaves his chin up and just goes boom, 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 boom. He acts like he's like the red or blue rock'em sock'em robot until he does get hit in his chin and he gets rocked. But this is what I think this fight's gonna be. Peak is the more wild fighter. But he is making this. Here's the thing: before anyone knew, originally both of these guys were on this card. Their opponents originally dropped, so the UFC put this fight together and decided to make this matchup. All right, cool, fine. Like I said, I think both of them aren't that good as it is. But the one thing, huh?
I don't think Peake's terrible.
He's gonna end up. I'll tell you right now. This is where here's going when it comes to Gonzalez. Yes, Gonzalez had. I think his first fight was short notice. Against who was it? Was it Jim Miller or was it McKinney?
He got knocked out by Jim Miller.
I know. I don't like that.
That's all we need to know right there.
I don't like that. It was short notice, but at the same time, it is Jim Miller. But Jim Miller, we both said that if Jim Miller catches him at some point, and Gonzalez had his success early. He's landing good body kicks, in his range some. Then he showed a slightly more improvement against McKinney. And McKinney's my boy, but I'm not going to go into anything about McKinney. We'll talk about that during his next fights. But he showed slightly more improvement against McKinney. Actually cracked McKinney. And then, McKinney ended up doing him. McKinney ended up winning the fight. But I'll say this right now. This is a type of fight where whoever finds their spot first, someone's going to bed. I give Peake the overall power and wildness, but I do like the overall technical striking of Gonzalez. He likes to bounce, uses range. He's the better kicker, which the only thing I'll say about this, when you're over aggressive with like Peake and you come down with your hands low, trying to throw them over, you leave your chin open up for a kick. That's the one thing that does scare me about this fight. He's going to come in wild, swinging like he did in the Contender Series, which he got rocked multiple times in that Contender Series fight. And the only reason why fucking Dana signed him was like, holy shit, yeah, you're a brawler. I'm like, yeah, brawler, that got tagged up so many freaking times I lost count. But okay, yeah, I know it's exciting, so you're getting a contract, but somebody, like Drowning Pool says, somebody's body will hit the floor. Will be first round? I'm leaning first round, somewhere in the round one. Whoever finds their range. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of either one. I'm going Gonzalez.
You're crazy.
Look, the only reason why I'm going Gonzalez, for one, I didn't like how Peake guards too many punches with his chin. His hands are low. He's like, oh, I'm this badass. I can eat every shot. Until he gets hit by look, the only reason why I say this, I'm going slightly Gonzalez. I like the technical striking of Gonzalez and the counter striking of Gonzalez. Peake is just going to try to go in there, overall blow his wad to try to knock this kid out. And if he doesn't get it, I think he's screwed. I'm telling you, I think he's screwed. I'm going to give Peake within the first 2.5, 3 minutes of this first round. If Gonzalez survives, he wins this fight. I will put Gonzalez will win the fight if he survives the first 2.5 minutes.
Nope. You're out of your fucking mind.
I may be. And I'll say this right now.
I'm
not calling him my overall thing I told you earlier. This was not it. This is a fight I went back and forth on because I guess I'm not confident about each side. I think both guys freaking suck. But I'm slightly on Gonzalez. I think this is a fight you need to target in GPPs. But depending on how many lines you play, I know more people are going to be on the Peake side. But if you're playing, let's say, like some people do 150 lines, I'm not going to be against somebody that's going to target Gonzalez.
There's a reason only 8% of people on Tapology have Gonzalez, and that is because they think that he will land a first-round knockout. That is it, and that is all that Gonzalez has. I did say that he makes a solid GPP dart due to his power, but here's the problem. Peake has ridiculous, unrelenting forward pressure, and he will literally come out immediately and smother him.
I'm telling you, it may not. There's a good chance I could be wrong about this pick, but I'm saying this right the fuck now. He's gonna run into a technical striker that is gonna.
That's not this fight, though. It's not this fight.
It's possible. I'm telling you. Let it get past the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds. While
Peake has cardio, though. What are you worried about?
I don't like his chin, bro. He gets too rocky.
He hasn't been knocked out yet. You can't say
dude. He's been rocked terribly. All it takes is one good technical shot. And I'm telling you, if it's either Gonzalez hits him with an overhand, which I'm not expecting the overhand. What I'm expecting is Peake's going to get too aggressive with his hands low. And I'm telling you, I think he gets kicked in his chin. Maybe that doesn't lead to the knockout. I think that leads to him maybe getting rocked and then maybe the the ref TKOs type of stuff. But
Gonzalez has never had a head kick TKO.
no,
Just
I'm
saying.
just saying it's going to lead to him Pete getting rocked. And then you know how you get rocked? Oh! Then he's going to throw them more punches. But like I said, Gonzalez will be a lower owned good GPP play, depending on how many lines you play. But
He doesn't
ideally,
throw
I'm
the
still going to
volume.
keep. Yeah, I'm still going to keep both guys in my player pool because ideally, I think somebody will go to sleep. But I'm going to stay on Gonzalez.
I'm definitely all over Trevor Peak because I think this you want to talk about the Lynn's OSP fight, that's this fight right here.
That's the only thing that worries me. Only thing.
That will be Peak coming out because he wants to make a statement. He has the match to do it. He's going against a fighter who, frankly, is just not that great. He got knocked out. Anybody that gets knocked out by Jim fucking Miller, you're just completely off my list.
And Power has decent power though, but he's not a striker.
He's a grappler. It doesn't fucking matter. How many times do you see Jim Miller stand toe to toe with somebody and knock him out? Twice.
Like
We're not
flatline
talking
or
ground
like
and pound. We're
KO.
talking about literally standing up and knocking somebody out.
I have to go back, but probably
Maybe
not
two
much.
times in 40 fights.
Maybe I'll say about maybe 4 times, maybe not like flatline, but maybe like TKO type style. But like, yeah, maybe like 4 times.
Which tells you that Gonzalez also leaves his chin open.
They both do. That's why I say like whoever's chin gets hit hardest first, which somebody's going to
I
bed.
trust Pete's chin more.
I
Pete
understand.
hasn't lost yet. He hasn't been knocked out. I don't think this is the guy to do it. There's no reason to put money on Gonzalez right now until you see the chin of Peak. Peak hasn't lost yet. You can't say Gonzalez, oh, he's going to come and knock him out. Well, Gonzalez couldn't even knock out Jim Miller. Gonzalez couldn't stay alive against T-Rex McKinney.
And not many people stay alive during T-Rex McKinney,
So,
except for his last fight. That's a different story. But good lord.
you're right. That was a good one.
Ugh.
All right, so we are split. You're going with Eric Gonzalez. I'm going with Trevor Peak. Next up, we have another actually pretty close fight: Mike Malott and Johan Lainez. Um, I'm on Mike Malott. I think Mike Malott is the better fighter. I'll say this: Lainez is a better technical striker, but Lainez has a huge problem when he's in the ring. He likes to stay on his back foot. He likes to back himself up against the cage. You can't do that against somebody like Mike Malott. You will more than likely you will end up on your ass and you're going to end up getting either a massive ground and pound that you're not going to live through or you're going to get submitted. Mike Malott is actually a really, really well-rounded guy. All he has to do is apply that pressure, put him down, and it's done. Because Lainez does not put any pressure. He doesn't walk forward, and if he does not control the middle of the ring, this fight's over. So
I agree.
my pick's easy. I'm going Mike Malott, and that's that.
Yeah, I'm on Mike Malott. I think if you go by pure, more roundedness, it is definitely Malott. If you look at mainly Liness, it's mainly okay. I'm gonna land that one power shot that rocks you, and then it leads to to a finish. He does have some wrestling. He has good takedown defense from what I've seen from his last fight. But I'm sorry, I still thought he lost his last fight. It was a split decision to Darian Weeks, but that fight was close. Either side could say either side, but honestly, Weeks does have the better wrestling than Malott. Malott's mainly, okay, I'm going to use my strength and then try to drag you. And I'll give to Linus, he actually showed some pretty well good takedown defense in that fight. But if he would just put a little bit of pressure on Weeks, it would have been easy unanimous. But he was showing his back foot, trying to work his back jabs. And only thing about Malott I don't like, you've seen it against Mickey Gall. He gets hit and that boy bleeds. He's a bleeder. Some people are, some people aren't. But he gets touched, he bleeds. Judges are usually oh shit, you're bleeding? Damage. Ooh, okay. But I think this fight goes over 1.5. Malott, I think Malott could get, tire him out later. But mostly Malott gets most of his finish early. Malott's usually under 2.5 type of guy. Gets his finishes, and then I think this fight's, Malott still gets the decision, but I think there's gonna be times when Lance is gonna be live. I'm not talking about for a knockout, but he's gonna have his moments during the fight. But if I'm saying it's around 9,200, if Malott doesn't get some kind of sub finish, because honestly, I'll give Lance, he has a chin. I give him good credit. He has a good chin from what I've seen. If Malott doesn't get some type of finish, I don't see him paying off 92, even a decision. He doesn't do.
Here's the problem that I have with what you're saying is Lane Ness was knocked out by Gabe Green, and I think Mike Malott is a better version of 8
Yeah, I
grand.
agree with that. I agree he's a better version. Some people said that was a type of stoppage, but you know, it can
Yeah,
agree to disagree. I'm not a ref, so I can't make that full judgment. But for the most part, he's never been actually put to sleep. Was it, oh, you're done? No, I'm not done. Oh, you're done? Okay, you're done. Bye. But like I said, I think Malat needs to finish to pay off 92. Because ideally, like I said, I gave Linetz credit. He does have wrestling. He does have good takedown defense. You know, I think this time he is going to touch Malat, but I still think Malat wins. And depends on my line. If I think he can get an early finish, he'll be a decent play for GPP. But for now, until I start hand building, I'm going to be a little bit underweight. Like I said, there's plenty of other fighters around that range I like.
there's a lot of first round potential on this card. So, but both of us going with Mike Malott. Oh, next up, we got your girl. I'll let you take this one first. Tatiana Suarez is back after 1,300 days.
Shoot,
Over
feels
3 years she's been
like 4
away.
years.
She pulls up Montana De La Rosa. Go ahead, talk about your girl.
Hey, this is my girl. I've been following you since tough, baby. But she's she's probably the best wrestler in the division, and it's not even close. Her wrestling credentials are insane.
Grappling is insane.
Yes, very. She gets a hold of you. I'm sorry, unless you had the same type of chops of grappling, you're not getting back up. I don't care who you are, you're not getting back up. She beat Carla Esparza in a wrestling match. If you want to go by credential, Carla has the better wrestling per se during that, but Tatiana made it mainly due because of size and strength and anything else. Tatiana made that fight look easy. She showed why she's one of the better prospects in the division. I don't know. I haven't really looked into why she was off for so long. Maybe I don't know if it was due to injuries or personal life.
I know there was injuries mixed in there, but
Okay.
there's obviously more than that because she was off for so long.
Yeah. Um. So I know apparently she's been trading because she actually is with a Bellator fighter. I forget his name though, but he's like one of them lower weight classes guys. But from what I know, she's still been training. I can't even talk. Her overall frame as a whole look, it got a little bit bigger from being off. I'm interested in how she looks. It's going to look on the scale because it's been 4 years. But I think she makes the weight fine. Della Rosa, I'll give her credit. Even with the 4 years off, I don't think that line should be that big. I think the line's slightly disrespectful. I had it more to like a 4-1. I didn't have it like no 8-1. But only thing that scares me about the layoff, they might start slow. De La Rosa, I give it to her. She is a good grappler herself. She'll engage in striking when she needs to. Sometimes she looks like a punching dummy at times because she has a low guard and just tries to go wide and simple bullshit jabs. But I give it to her. One way I think she's only live if she pulls something off her back. That's the only thing she got in this fight. So Tatiana Suarez is easily my slam dunk pick. Is it going to be a little bit worrisome that 4 years? But I think I'll give it to Del Rosa. She's very tough. Maybe not a finish round one, but maybe she can continue racking up takedowns. You know, using her control, getting some punches in, and maybe somewhere late round 2, round 3, she could tire out De La Rosa and maybe get a sub or TKO. But I'm all over Suarez this week. Usually I don't pay up for that 9,600, but when a woman that has the upside of her wrestling with takedowns is insane. Best wrestler on this slate, easily. And it's not even close. Usually, if I'm paying up with somebody,
Are you saying with everybody?
Okay, you want to go by pure wrestling, everyone on this list?
There's 2 people there's one for sure that is better than her.
I'll leave.
All right, 2.
Okay, who's the other one?
Potentially 3.
Okay,
The fight that's 2 after this.
I gotta hear it. Coleman.
That's yes. Moon. Yes.
Pure wrestling? Pure wrestling? No.
And grappling, both of them.
No,
Yes,
if you want to say grappling, yes. Wrestling, we'll talk about that in the next fight, but or a couple fights from now. But yeah, I'm going over Suarez. Usually if you're paying up with someone with 9,600, I always try to think, okay, if I know you have a big time wrestling advantage, you can get takedowns or takedowns or takedowns or takedown. I'll target it. If you're just a basic just striker and you don't have no knockout, I'm not going to target you. But I think this week you got to eat the chalk of Suarez.
I am fading this fight entirely.
Really?
I the ring rust bothers me, and at 9,600, dude, she has to have like 110 to fucking hit value. If you want to play her in cash, that's fine. But in GPP, you could potentially have six. Like I have it pulled up on my phone right now. I have six potential first round finishes in a line. I mean that you can't fit her in if that were to happen. Obviously, it's probably not going to happen, but and you do have to worry about De La Rosa's grappling because if Suarez makes a mistake and she loses her neck,
Snatch.
I mean it could be done right there. Does it happen?
No.
Probably not. Suarez is a freak.
I say if
Uh,
anything, I think Del Rosa could catch her in an armbar if she leaves her lemon, but
yes, so both of us going with Suarez. I have one more note for this. I hope her and Dern get to fight because man, that would be a grappling match for the fucking ages.
yes.
I don't care who wins. I like Dern's my girl. Suarez is yours. That fight, just a grappling match
You know
would
what?
be
Screw it. Don't even put
phenomenal.
it. Put it in like Fury grappling. I'll go watch that
Yes,
shit. Like let it come to Philly. I'll pay tickets and you'll fly down. We can go watch that shit.
that
But
would be an amazing fight.
yes,
But both of us going with Suarez. Next up, oh man, Augusto Sakai, Dante Mays. I don't want you to say anything. I want you to say who you're going with first. I
I,
want to know your pick.
do I even got a pick?
Yes, you do.
Two low ranked heavyweights. You know what?
All right. You want me to go ahead and say my spiel
Yes,
first?
you say first because like I have my feelings why I feel a type of way, but
So 54% of people on Tapology are on Augusto Sakai. Why? Why? This guy has been knocked out 4 fights in a row,
mm-hmm.
and Dontel Mays has power. There is no reason anybody should be on Augusto Sakai. Not a single fucking person. It's laughable. He got brutally murdered by Spivak, Tuivasa, Rosenstruck, and Overeem. And now he draws Dontel Mays, who really the only thing that he has is power.
And improving wrestling a little bit. That's
His wrestling is improving.
The only thing I'll say that because he switched over to Greg Jackson's, and he trains a lot with John Jones, which that's
So
gonna.
you have that. Mays also has the height and reach advantage. He probably has a speed advantage. Please tell me where Sakai wins this fight.
If he gets it, if he makes it pretty much a hit and move type of fight, I give it to him. When he doesn't get knocked out, he has decent cardio. When he doesn't get knocked, he throws some kicks, so he slows down the power of the guy. He has good 1-2s, but I remember I told you about Sakai. What was it, against Rosenstrike? After the knockout, I told him I don't think he should be in the UFC anymore. And I'm not saying to be a dick. I know he's on a lose streak, but you know what's going to end up happening to him on some real shit? And I think I might have told you this. He's going to end up turning to Bigfoot Silva. And I like Antonio Bigfoot Silva, but towards the back end of his UFC career, and even now, he gets knocked out bad. It's not even early stoppage ref. No. He gets his shit knocked. And then Sakai doesn't circle, maybe work the kicks and use the range, which he does use his range decently when he's not sleeping. But I don't know. Sakai just I don't think I like about it. He's flat footed. There's times where he waits flat, and I do like the change of the gym for Dantel.
So pause right there for a second. So you brought up Sakai being flat-footed. Dontel Mays took Josh Parisian down 6 times.
And Parisian is more foot movement than Sakai.
So, yeah.
So you're on Maze.
Can I convince you?
No. I was on Maze the whole time. All
right. Yeah. You can't, how anybody can.
Line should be flipped.
I don't know how Sakai is favored with 4 consecutive losses and Mays has looked better.
Mainly due to his strength of schedule. From what I was hearing rumors on, like apparently
okay. So yeah, he lost to, so then all right, let's put it this way. He lost to 4 of the top guys in the division.
Yeah.
And Spivak, who is now climbing even further after his latest win. Tuivasa is not a good fighter. I don't care what anybody
overrated.
says. Rosenstruck is just Rosenstruck. He's basically a gatekeeper at this point.
Yep.
and Alistair Overeem, who's not even in the UFC anymore.
I don't even know what he's
And
doing.
then you go and look at his wins before that. He had 5 in a row, all in the UFC. He beat Ivanov. Okay, that's
Decent.
decent. All right, but it was a split decision. Could have gone either way. He knocked out Marcin Tybura. Okay, I mean Tybura's he's eh. Andrei Arlovsky, which he lost that fight. I don't care what
He
anybody
lost that
says.
fight. Now it's worth shit.
He did knock out Chase Sherman, but Chase Sherman is
A punching dummy.
yes, and then Marcus Conrado.
Don't know who the hell that is.
So there is nobody in that list that he has beaten that is upper echelon. Now you could say the same thing for Dontel Mays. He hasn't beaten anybody either.
He lost Silver Gone.
He did lose to Cyril Gauntlet. I mean that's a good loss. He lost to Nashimento, who's a submission specialist. His latest fight is now a no contest because it was overturned. So technically, he's still on a 2-fight winning streak,
Yep.
and he has a better chin than Sakai.
And
I should not be
this
favored.
right now,
Sakai.
if it wasn't for this new gym that he's been training at for a little bit, Greg, I love the coaching. And some people say, "Oh, the coaches ain't fighting in the cage with you," but good coaching helps a good fighter prepare. So Greg Jackson's in his corner, Mike Winkajohn, and he's one of John Jones' main training partners. But that's also going to help him. And then he also been getting work from Henry Cejudo, has been coming down to Greg Jackson's for wrestling, working with John Jones, and Dontel Mays is getting working with Cejudo and techniques and overall better cardio. And yeah, I'm all over Mays on this fight. It's not like before the prices came out for DK. I know a week or two before the overall card, Mays was the favorite. I think he was like a minus 140, and then he went all the way down to underdog, which
Yeah,
that blew my mind. So
it makes no sense to me. I don't know.
only way Sakai wins if he makes it a boring fight, hit and move, and I'm not trying to get hit.
Yeah, it's got to be massively boring.
Yes, but I'm more on.
And I think Dontel Mays at that point says, "Screw you, I'm going to take your ass down."
Yeah, and then he's gonna go pure ground and pound on his ass.
So yeah, I don't envision a way in which Sakai wins this fight. And if it is a 5th knockout, he's done. He needs to be done.
Hey
And
man,
if
look
the
at Sam
UFC
Alvey. Sam Alvey's lost like 22 straight, and he was in. I still think he's in the UFC. I still think he has another fight lined up.
Yeah. So
But
both of us going with Dontel Mays.
easy pick.
Definitely a good fight to target. Next up, we have the co-main event: Andre Muniz and Brendan Allen, and you will take this one first.
Oh, okay. So Muniz, easily probably one of the more dangerous grapplers at 185.
Probably the
And
most.
he ideally punched that line in once he break the arm Jacare? I think it was the arm, right?
Yes,
He made something pop on Jacare.
that was disgusting.
And Jacare's before that fight, everyone was like, Jacare is the king of BJJ, which I wouldn't have disagreed with. But Munoz made that shit look easy. It was a back and forth fight. Jacare ran in some punches. Muniz, it was a pretty much a low striking match in that fight. But Muniz does have the better grappling. His wrestling's getting there. I first when I thought he came into the UFC, I thought he was just a slight power BJJ nerd, which that's always a label. If you have all this good grappling, but you have no actual takedowns, like what the hell are you doing? But I give to him, his overall wrestling is getting a tad better. You see that in fights. When he did get Jacare down, he got a hold of a limb and he snapped that shit quick.
At the end of his career, yeah.
Yeah, that was the most nastiest thing. And you heard that pop on live TV. Now, Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen's also a good grappler in his right mind. Is he on the level of Muniz? Absolutely the hell not. There's different levels to this shit when it comes to grappling. But one thing I'll say, Allen is a slightly better wrestler. Slightly. Not by much, but slightly the better wrestler. And I give Allen his striking is improving. I give him that. He has slightly, who's going to be a better striker? Allen. Who's going to have the slightly better wrestling? Just slightly, not by much. Allen. Muniz, he's going to have to close distance. I give him, he walks his prey down. He's patient. There's sometimes I don't like how sometimes he eats the punches and then he wiggles his head like, oh shit, I got hit. Okay, I'm in a fight now. Okay. You ready? Brandon Allen knocks him out in round 2.
Brendan Allen's my pick to win. You can see it in the article.
Bro, Oh shit. This is one fight I swear to God I thought we were gonna be different on. Oh shit. That's gotta be hype.
I'm not gonna go against him. I've been with him just about every damn
I
fight.
know, but I know how you like your boy Muniz though.
He's good, but I'm still more a bigger fan of Allen, and I think Allen is overall the better fighter.
I think Allen knocks him
Muniz,
out.
Muniz, he has no striking. He is all grappling. He
All his
beat
losses by finish, by knockout.
he took down and controlled Hall. Hall's not a grappler or a wrestler. Okay. He took down and control or submitted Eric Anders with an armbar. Okay. Anders isn't
Fair.
really on those either. Souza, he submitted with an armbar, but Souza was at the end of his career. So all these guys that he's fighting are, I mean, they're either not grapplers or they're too old.
Mhm.
Brendan Allen, his striking, he actually almost prefers to strike a lot of the time now, which is kind of crazy. But that fight against Jutko, he used his striking set at the takedown and then he submitted him. So the way that I see it is Allen has the tools to avoid being submitted by Muniz, which is the only way that Muniz can win this fight. Allen also has the advantage, a huge advantage on the feet.
Mhm.
And I'm not so sure that Muniz could handle multiple strikes coming at him. And Allen doesn't have, bad power. His power is there.
Improving.
Um, so yeah, I also thought we were going to be split on this. I thought you were going to go with me. So kind of crazy that both of us are on Allen here.
He's gonna be my most exposed dog.
He's at 7,100. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
Freaking
beautiful.
I love that price.
So I mean, exactly what I said on here. I said I'm torn on this fight. Muniz is a wizard on the mat. Will likely be fighting the winner, or will likely be the fighter winning grappling exchanges. However, Allen not only has high level grappling, but will also have an edge on the feet with volume and power. And I said it is one of the tightest fights because it is. The fight should. I mean, this fight should theoretically be a pick'em.
Ideally, how I rated it was I did give Muniz the favorite. I had him like a minus like 170 to Allen's plus money, but like I said, I'm thinking most of Muniz's wins is like under 1.5. Muniz he slows down from what I've seen before and getting the UFC. When he gets his thing, when he gets hit clean, he falls. It's not just a little but when he gets hit clean, he goes to sleep.
Well, so if you go back and you look at all the guys that Muniz has fought, like strikers wise, none of them are really like elite strikers. Uriah Hall, I mean, he's
Right,
a striker, but he's kind of, he's old. I mean, he's had his fair share of fights already in the UFC, and he's kind of fallen off over the last couple of fights because Sean Strickland beat the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the rest of his UFC fights, none of them are huge strikers. None of them are huge grapplers. They're all low-level fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Allen, you go to his side, and he just beat Krylov Jutko. He beat a extremely good wrestler in Jacob Malkoun.
Yep.
Sam Alvey is whatever. He did get knocked out by Chris Curtis, but we don't have to worry about a knockout in this fight.
No.
He beat Soriano. He beat Roberson. He did get brutalized by Sean Strickland, but that's a lot of people at this point. So he also beat Kevin Holland. That was a great fight.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. Allen is, I think, overall the better fighter. I think he controls this fight, and all he has to do is avoid. Really, he only needs to avoid the armbar.
Yep.
I think he has the strength to do so. So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised actually. Ooh. Both of us going with Brendan Allen. Yeah. Did not see that coming.
That's one I was definitely shocked about.
All right. Next up, we've got the main event with Nikita Krylov and Ryan Spann. This is a really close fight. Krylov is the better overall fighter. Spann is the better first-round fighter. Spann has more power. Spann has a better guillotine. Krylov has better range, technically. He's also got probably more technical strikes. So this fight is actually really evenly matched, regardless of what pricing or odds say. I'm on Spann. I like Spann. I love the way Spann came out in his last fight. I called that. We both took him. We were both all over him. He came out. He beat the shit out of Reyes in a minute 20. Um, man, that was a great fight.
I
But
love it.
lately, it's been first round or bust for him.
Yep.
And in this fight with Krylov, nothing against Krylov, but I think it's Krylov gets knocked the fuck out. So I'm on Spann.
This is the biggest one I was torn on the whole time because both of these fighters I've had usually success with picking. Um, One thing I'll say about Krylov, I believe was part of the line when I won the takedown. That was the Curtis Blade fight. That's where I think he absolutely destroyed Alexander Gustafsson. But I'll say this is how I think the fight goes. Spann is more live for early round finish. He has easily the better easily power. But I'll say, if Krylov uses the similar game plan he did against Vulcan, he will either way, yeah, pick a side for this fight in cash, GBP, pick your
Both
side.
doing shit. Pick a different fight to go against.
What? No, I'm just saying that he actually showed, oh shit, he had what, like 6 takedowns?
7.
6, 7, and he absolutely steamrolled that price. I think he was the underdog in that fight too. Everyone was all over Vulcan. Because that's when he stuck.
We
That's when,
weren't.
huh?
We were both on Krylov.
I know everyone was on Vulcan. I was on Krylov. That's why I said I usually pick both sides of these fights pretty well. And both of these guys made me a lot of money. Who's okay? If you're looking for someone, Spawn is probably one of my top usually pay downs. No, but he's I think gonna be 1.5 or bust. I hate to say because I do love Spawn. I love how he's come back with a new mindset ever since losing to Anthony Smith, and he's been on a roll. I think Spawn is honestly one of the dark horses in this division, especially if he
Yes.
can keep his overall rhythm going, get his cardio together a little bit more. Karloff is going to be the minute winner, especially if he can stay away from the power, working, the kicks of the leg, slow down Spawn. Oh God, this is one fight I was regretting because I know either side. Oh no, I know before I make this pick. I'm torn because I love both fighters. I love how they both fight. I'm torn, but I gotta pick a side. And I told this, I think it's gonna be like how I felt about the Jamal Hill and Glover fight. And originally I was like, yeah, I'm on this side, and then I'm on this side. Like I said, Karloff did help me win that 60K. Mm, do I want to go for more minute winner or I know I gotta you know what?
Go with your gut. I will add this in a little bit. Spann also has the height and reach advantage as well.
You know what? This is a
Who
fight I know.
before you say your pick, do you know how big each of them are after weigh-ins? So come fight night,
Oh, from what I
I
heard
have to
from the Reyes
imagine that
fight,
Spann is the bigger
yeah,
fighter.
from what I heard from the Reyes fight, apparently Spawn was laying like 225 pounds.
That's what I thought. And if that's the case, Krylov's gonna have a hard time taking him down.
Because Krylov used to fight at what, 85?
Yeah, and now he's up to
Now he's
205.
still, I know he's been in 205 ever since moving up, but
Yep.
you know what?
That's it's tough. I didn't think about that part until just now, but that
Yeah,
worries
because
me a little bit
I,
with Krylov.
I remember saying it to you during before the start of the bell. I'm like, dude, is it just me or Spawn looks huge against Reyes? And Reyes ain't a
Mhm.
small guy. He doesn't have muscle frame, but he's just a long, big dude. But you know, I'm going Spawn. Do I have a confidence factor on either side? I don't because I love both fighters. They're good in their own overall mindsets. Both are going to be in my fighter pool, depending on how I build my line. I have a feeling it's going to come down to like shit. Like the last 10 minutes before lock, I'm going to pick a side and I'm like, shit. But if you want someone with potential early upside, it's definitely Spawn. But if you don't think Spawn gets it done within under a minute and a half, which I think he needs it done within a minute and a half, not a minute, a round and a half, then I think Krylov could, slowly start tiring him out with kicks, eventually get takedowns and maybe get a TKO of a sort. But yeah, I'll go Spawn. Like And no, I don't want no countdown. Are you sure? Three, two, no. I'll stick with Spawn, but depending on how my lines look, because ideally, if there are some other high pay up options. No, I do want to get to. Krylov's still not a bad one. Like I said, if he does survive that minute round wise, but I'm kind of looking at guys that around that same price tag of who could have an easier fight. Because Spawn's not no easy fight. He's really not.
Mhm.
All he needs to do
Especially
is
with his
somebody
newfound
that's similar.
confidence.
And honestly, like I said, I still think nothing against Krylov. He had a good run, but he's been beating slower, older guys. I'm going Spawn.
Good
I just
deal.
think there's a chance that Krylov's going to move in and out. I think he's a more athletic fighter, but I think Spawn's going to be like the American sniper. Pick, pick, pick. As soon as Krylov comes in, boom. It may only need one punch, like he did exactly like fucking he did against Reyes. He may only need one good shot.
All right, both of us going with Ryan Spann. Yeah, man. Now that we've gone over this, I really like this card. I like
Yeah.
this card way more than I thought I did. There should be a shit ton of finishes on this card. This is
Okay,
gonna be
so
a lot.
there's what 12 fights.
Yeah. So, well, we'll go over that later between
Yeah.
us. Um, so I know you want to lock in Suarez if that's who you want your lock to be. That's
No,
fine.
that's too freaking stupid. And she's too like, dude, she's too high of a favorite. I can't do that. That's like cheating.
I know.
That's
Uh,
cheating.
I'm gonna lock in. Oh man, I don't want to do that because that's my hot take. I'm gonna lock Jordan Levitt. I'm gonna lock Jordan Levitt.
Like, I'm not gonna jump on that same board train and pick the same guy, but because I do like Levitt, I don't understand why he's the underdog. Honestly, I thought you were gonna go another route. I thought you were gonna go Fernandez, but
I thought about it. I really did.
that was the one I thought you were gonna go, and then I was gonna go Levitt. But you know what? I did have a plan B. If you're gonna pick, I didn't expect you to pick Levitt, but I got a plan B. Brandon Allen.
I like it.
Like I said, I think within 2 rounds, I think he can. I think he knocks out Muniz, bro.
I
It's gonna
like
be
it.
like it's not gonna be like one of them brutal. Oh, but it's gonna be like one of them referees where Allen does get the combinations going and he's guarding his hands against a cage. Ref steps in. I'm going Allen. You know what? If I can land this, I'm gonna say Allen round two. But I think within 2 rounds he does it.
Do you think? Would you say he's your favorite dog?
Oh, honestly, I remember during the earlier today, I said I did have a hot take and I did not expect us to be on the both sides. Honestly, I think I had like a three-way tie. I'd say a two-way tie. It was between Allen and Levitt. But I did expect Levitt to be the favorite before I saw the odds, but that's still absolute craziness how he's not. But I'd probably say Allen and then honestly Allen and Spawn.
Yeah, I told you I liked a lot of dogs on this card. My favorite dog on this card has to be Maze, though.
Dude, there's a chance where I'm gonna go back to how you said Spawn, yes. For me, I'm going for me for my dog. Spawn, Allen, Mays, Gonzalez, but I wasn't too confident because I said someone's gonna hit the floor. Levitt, and then yeah, that's it.
So we each have five because I have Fernandez.
Oh yeah, Fernandez is the favorite.
Oh, oh yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
So I got So one. Yeah,
One,
so I'm
two.
not confident about Gonzalez. So I did pick him per se, but I think I'm gonna try to get to some point on that fight where I can pick. If I can get the peak, I'll get the peak. If I need to go down and pay for Gonzalez, I'll squeeze my cheeks and bite my lip, and then hope he lands his shot because there's a possibility it could happen. But
You shouldn't need to though, not with Allen. But no, so I've got Spann, Allen, Mays, Levitt, and Perez. So
and then so before we do this, if anybody's keeping track, I took the lead.
she did.
I'm mad. All I know is I think they could.
One
I think they could have let what's his name finish the fight in 2 minutes. I've seen nastier cuts, but
the problem was it was is on his eye,
yeah, it
and
was
if
open like that.
if it opened up into his eye, there could have been some real trouble.
Mhm.
But I don't necessarily disagree. But yeah, you
I
took
don't,
the
I don't agree, but like if he would have survived that in 2 minutes, I would have went 11-0, and
I know,
that was a bummer.
not as good as that weekend went 14 though.
Go to hell.
Um, so yeah, nope, you took a 2 game lead. I was 8-3. You were 10-1. It was a solid week for you. This week we only have two different picks, and that'll be Eileen Perez and you have Gonzalez. So
Wait, hold on. Ali and Perez, I have Ali.
no, you took Cohen.
Oh no, for some reason I thought it was Ali. I think it said Alves for a second. Okay,
Oh,
so it's that the wrestler. Yeah, I got coming though.
yeah. So uh, you got a hot take for this card?
Hmm.
Because I will tell you right now, mine will be Eileen Perez first round knock the fuck out.
Perez. Okay. I don't know. I've been saying it the whole time. I'm probably gonna stick with it. I think Allen knocks out Muniz.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Usually I try to go for like either a pick 'em fight or a underdog to do it because most people are like, oh, the favorite. It's kind of obvious they should. No, not always necessarily, but I think Allen by knockout. I think he knocks Muniz out within 2 rounds. Because if he stops that first legit takedown and Allen gets his hands going, the fight's not going to last long.
Muniz will be worried the whole time too. So, all right, that wraps up this episode. UFC Vegas 70 should be an absolute blast. I expect a lot of finishes. It's gonna be a fun card.
Okay.
Until
You said
then,
finishes. You said finishes before we go. Over,
yeah.
under on finishes.
Let me count
Both
them
fights.
out.
I'm going to count, then I'm going to count right now, too. I'm counting now. 1, 2. Okay.
Under over. So let's do half. Under over 6. I'm gonna say over.
I was torn. I said 5
I have at least 6 or 7.
because I
Could
have
be
the,
8.
yeah, I have 5 at the moment.
You're crazy.
Mainly due to the fact because, one, I have the main event. Yeah. I have Allen, of course, Allen knocking out Muniz. That's my bold one. That's 2. The only one I was questioning, Sakai, Mays. I think if Mays wins, I think he could standing TKO him. 3. For some reason, I think Suarez takes a while, but I think he goes to decision.
Yeah, I have that as a decision.
I think Malat Lanance is close, but I had that going decision.
I have that finish.
Pete Gonzalez, that's 4.
Yep.
Fernandez, depending on how that fight goes, if it's back and forth, it could go to a close decision, but that was the one I left iffy. Martinez Levitt, 5. Johnson Osborne, that was the one I was somewhat leaning questionable for 6.
I have a decision on that one.
Yeah, but I have mainly a boring decision. Selecki, that was another one I was close about, but I think that could be my 6th one potentially. Alvio and Alves, I think if Alves wins, it's gonna be a finish. If
I think both. I think both those first 2 fights will be a finish. Obviously, Perez is my hot takes that one, but yeah, I think Khalid gets a finish. One of them will, but I think Khalid does finish him.
And then the second fight, if Perez doesn't get a finish, got to give her the power. I think it could be. I think it's Perez or bust. Honestly, that's why I said like she's in my underdog pool. It's either I'm playing the dog or I'm passing because I don't know about Cohen necessarily. She just have a bouncy style because I like the overall athletic ability on her. But for now, I'm only fading the fight because could she have some success with range? Yes. But could she tire out eventually? Yes. But that's why I'm currently on 5. But if it's like if you ask me like 5.5, I'd maybe say over maybe because like I said, maybe the Selecki one finishes late, but I don't trust Selecki because he doesn't score well per se. But yeah, for now I'm gonna say 5.
All right, I got 7, so we'll see how it goes. Either way, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Next week, who do we got?
Oh, that's the big.
Oh, next week's a huge card. No, it's in 2 weeks, isn't it?
No, next week.
No, it is, yeah, because this is a short month.
And
Yeah,
Johnny Bones
John Jones is back with
Jones.
Cyril Gahn, Shevchenko, and Grasso, Rachmanov, and Jeff Neal. Oh man, next week's card is gonna be
Mm-hmm. I
amazing.
can't wait.
We get to watch Cody Garbrandt get knocked out again.
Who's he fight?
He's got Trevin Jones now, since what's his name pulled out.
Oh shit! Wait, isn't Tevin Jones coming in short notice?
Yeah, super short notice.
I can guarantee this. They'll make Garbrandt a favorite, a big favorite. I'm talking about
Oh, they. I'm
like a
sure they will
like a
against
minus
Trevin
two.
Jones.
Like I said, I'm thinking probably line's already out for it. I'll check after the stream, but I'm guessing before I even look, minus 220, minus 240. But
I could see it. But all right, so yeah, that's a huge card next week. Hopefully, we'll try to get it out the show out a little earlier, as long as Joey can get his shit together.
hey, leave Joey alone.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.